really don't feel that way. I do think the 21st century should be the Asian century, or will be. But I think that the rise of China and India and Brazil, the BRICS, if you want to call them that, is not so much a case of the United States declining as it is a case of those other countries moving up. And why are they moving up? They're moving up because they embraced our paradigm of the free market. And that's something we really ought to be willing to welcome and not be fearful of. Now, that's not to say that you let your guard down, and you don't. I mean, some people are concerned about China's military buildup. Quite frankly, I am not concerned about that at this point, but I think we need to be vigilant. I think we need to, we maintain a quite robust presence in the Pacific in the form of the 7th Fleet, and it's important that we do that in case there is any temptation on the part of anybody in that part of the world to seek a hegemonistic position over there in that part of the world. But, you know, China's not the only emerging power today in Asia. You look at India, and of course India and China have had problems through the years, and they may very well have other problems, and we have a big stake in maintaining a really good and close relationship with India, and we now have a closer relationship than we did during the Cold War. During the Cold War, India was a Soviet. They were aligned with the Soviet Union and not with us, and that's changed. So it's just extraordinarily important. We have so many interests in common with China. There are so many things with respect to which we can cooperate and will and should cooperate, and whether it's international terrorism, whether it's regional stability, whether it's trade, whether it's proliferation of nuclear weapons. There are interests there that are compatible, our interests with those of the Chinese, and we should cooperate together on those issues where we can. There are differences. There will continue to be differences. We have different political situations. We have different geopolitical interests. You know, Taiwan is going to continue to be a problem. Tibet will be a problem. Human rights generally will be a problem. But I'm not one of these people who thinks that China is somehow going to displace the United States on the world stage. China has her problems too. We got ours for sure. I mean, as a consequence of financial overreach, we got a debt bomb out there that's huge. It is unsustainable. 100% of GDP for the next 5 years, absent policy changes. But China has problems. They've got a great disparity between the urban and rural populations in terms of quality of life. They've got a government that is nominally Marxist, but highly authoritarian. And so they don't have a government like ours, which can rely either on ideology or on the consent of the governed. And that means that there could very well be some problems down the line. There's some financial problems in China, particularly with their financial institutions. So it's not a case, in my view at all, of the United States in decline and China on the rise. China's coming up, so is India, so is Brazil, so are other countries. That's not all bad, given the fact that they're increasing in stature and power because they're embracing the free markets.